So, good morning and welcome to my second interview of the week. And I'm extremely excited this morning to be talking to the fabulous Donna Maree Waugh. And I am extremely excited because she's got a very, 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 very lovely story about, well, she's a multi-business owner. She's smashed this business. She's travelled all around the world helping beauty owners to increase their business and get better at doing what they do and upskill them. But not only that, is the confidence and the empowerment of women that I think Donna is really key at. So, good morning, Donna.
Good morning, Natalie. How are you?
Oh, very well, thank you. Very well.
First coffee of the day. I've got to keep it going.
I'm on my second tea. I don't really do what I want, to be honest. Yeah, I'd be off my nut probably if I did coffee.
I'd probably just sleep all the time if I didn't.
Yeah, I think I'm mental enough without giving me coffee. It's a bit dangerous. So this morning, I'm sure for those that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit more about you and your story and how you got to where you are?
Right. Well, from leaving school at 18, I went to college and studied beauty therapy and hairdressing. And from then on, I've just been in an industry I adore. I'm passionate about. I love the industry. I've always worked in it. I've never done, well, done a few other jobs while I was studying, but nothing. It's always been around the beauty industry. And I've been really fortunate. I mean, it's been a career that I've been able to work around being a single parent. I've been able to work around having my 2 children young. And it has evolved and developed over time. So it's not just been one occupation within that industry. So first of all, I worked in salons and then stopped to get married and have my children and worked mobile then. Then my marriage broke down and I ended up with a 1 and 2 year old on my own. And so it was a career I could work around them. So it was mobile until they were at nursery, and then I retrained and became a teacher. And from then on, went into colleges and taught, then private centres, then went into management and managed them. And I've also had a salon business that I've owned. I've had a bridal business that I've owned.
Wow.
So yeah, there has been quite a few, but all within the industry, which is why I'm so passionate about it. And also I worked, I was sort of headhunted by the biggest awarding organisation in hair and beauty, and they wanted me to work for them. And I've been working for them now for, about 20 years. Yeah, about 20 years now. And with that job as an EQA, it opened up even more. So I would go into centres, go into colleges, still do, check that the way they're teaching the students is at the right level. So very much quality control. I've travelled the world doing that. So I've been very, very lucky. I've been to lovely places and met wonderful people and helped build their training centres for them and done training with them. So such places as India, I mean, I was there probably 3 or 4 times a year, every year. I mean, in one period, I think in 3 months, me and my partner worked out that I was in India more than I was in the UK. So, and travelled around because obviously it's a big country.
Yeah.
I also been to Mauritius, South Africa, Malta, Ghana. So yeah, it has really opened the world to me. And it was funny because having children and being a single parent young, I never got to travel. And I can remember, what you wish for, saying that one of the things I wanted as they grew older was to travel. And it got to the point where I would literally have my own seat at the Starbucks at Gatwick or at Heathrow, that if anyone else was sitting there, they'd get daggers because, hang on, that's my seat. That's how often I was in there. But then that sort of stopped probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I made a conscious stop because my mum needed me to be here to help her with her dementia. So I stopped doing the international work, and there was a big void or hole in my calendar and my life. I still carry on. I still do the EQAing. And also my daughter is also in the business and a teacher, and she's wonderful. And lives down here in Whitstable.
In the world, just saying.
And so, you know, I've been very lucky actually, because both my daughters live down here in Whitstable as well, and so all the family are here. But her work takes her up to London 2 or 3 times a week, long days. And I just thought we need to do something down here that will free her up from that journey. So Whitstable Beautiques and Whitstable Beauty School was born, and started off life. My partner had built a wonderful bespoke building in my garden for us to have clients in. So we started off with the salon, Whitstable Beautiques, which we still have. And it's always been about knowing our industry and knowing how we love to work with women, whether it's in a salon or in training, and how we wanted to do it a little bit different. So we didn't want people to feel that they were sitting in a reception, pulled into a room, treated for a little while, and then we've got to go and do someone else, then come back to them. We wanted people to have a real VIP experience when they were with us, and that they were the only person with us on a very one-to-one basis. And that's an ethos that we've carried on even now. We've expanded, which I'll get onto in a little while. But the important thing for us is that when people come to visit us, they're buying our time and expertise, which for me is now over 40 years, and for Charlotte is probably about 20 odd years. And so they're buying our time to be with them on their own. We never rush people. We overextend on all of our appointments, and it's about making them feel the best they can and giving them the best treatment. So it's building confidence. It's being a confidant to them as well, because quite often when you're in that situation, people open up and tell you lots, and it's a sounding board, and it's good for mental health and everything else. So we started off with that, but because training is in both of our DNA, a lot of people started asking us about doing courses. So we've started off building up a portfolio of private courses that we do that are all accredited, and they're great. And a lot of people come and done CPD. But we both work for an awarding organisation, and we both normally deal with proper qualifications that go through Ofqual, that are recognised. So we felt we needed to expand and to have that offer as well. So we started looking for a premises, and was going to have a small premises to offer that, a 2-room premises, you know, a little training room. And but then, you know, with Nat's help and some luck, good fortune, or just through being in the industry this long, we got the offer from 2 different funding providers to give us funding, which means we can now train people in recognised qualifications through VTCT, but they get funded for the place, so they haven't got to pay for it privately. And I'm a great advocate in that, because I think for a lot of women, circumstances are such that they can't always afford to pay to have a course. But doing a course and changing their life has a huge impact. Over the years, I've worked with women that have been in abusive relationships, for instance, couldn't move, couldn't go with their children because they didn't have the finances behind them, retrained in a career and suddenly became independent, became more confident, and made life choices for them and their children. Or other people that were single parents, or other people that had lost jobs, and that after a while their confidence had gone, or they wanted a complete change of career. So in lots of ways, it's a great way of helping people, but not everyone has the money to invest in their career at the beginning. So to be able to offer a funded course, at the moment it's only over 19s, but the next thing we're looking for is that school leaver 16 to 19 bulk of funding, so that we can offer the full variety for anyone. And again, with our training, we want it to be a smaller, more intimate experience for our learners, so they can feel supported. They're in an environment that within a big college, even if you go to study beauty or hair, well, we don't do hair, but beauty, you're in a college that has so many students that are in so many different classes. It can be overwhelming, especially in the last year or 2 we've had. Whereas coming to a place where all they're offering is to do your beauty training. We only use really good, I mean, apart from us two, really good teachers. We've all got teaching degrees, we've all worked in FE, so we've got the experience, but in a much gentler, softer way for people to explore what they want. So that's what we started looking for, and we ended up finding a very large premises that we've taken on that's now got 2 huge training rooms, which means, and a theory room, which means in practice we could run easily 2 or 3 courses a day. We still have our salon room there as well, and offices. And we picked up the keys 2 weeks ago. And in 2 weeks, we've nearly decorated everywhere. We've got the salon up and running, so we can still take clients. We've sort of only had certain days, so in between we can strip it back, do a bit more work, put it back together again. But it's been doing really well. We've got courses running already, and from September, when we start with the funded courses, we've got people on places as well. So, you know, it's been a really lovely journey. And because, I mean, in Whitstable, we're called DFLs, I suppose, because we are down from London. That's where we originated from, although I've lived in all different places. When you're, especially when you're older, when you go and move somewhere, I mean, we've been here 7, 8 years, so I don't feel like it's too new. But all of the contacts you've got, all of the people you know, all the people that have come and done courses before, all live in a completely different place. And I mean, Charlotte does go to the school, but, you know, it's not like I go to school gates and talk to mums or talk to people. And I suddenly realised having an idea or having a concept in a business and getting known in an area are 2 very different things. And as I said, I've always had businesses, but before it was easy. You would open a business, do a few leaflets, stand and talk to people at the school gate, and suddenly you was full. But it's different now. It's all through social media. It's people getting to know you. It's the Instagram. It's a whole world that we didn't understand, really. And a lot more technical now as well.
I suppose especially due to COVID as well, that small thing that's happened, you know, changed.
I mean, in fact, to be honest, it's been quite a nice year for us because actually stepping out of that, I mean, Charlotte continued to teach her funded courses where she worked because she just went online. But for us, our accredited courses are quite short, 1, 2, 3 day courses. And we really feel we do as much as we can online, as in manuals that are sent, but the rest of the time they need to be with us. So we just, and we had to close as an industry for that time period because of the dangers, but that gave us the space to build rather than anything else. So we used that time, we built what we wanted, we planned everything. We've done a name change. I mean, Whitstable Beautiques is still the salon name, but we decided for the school to have a separate name that was linked, but a separate entity so that people could find us easier. So Whitstable Beauty School was born. So we used the time really effectively. So that was good. But it's, it has been an interesting year. And as I say, we're still in the decorating and changing rooms and everything, and we'll be fully open, I think, probably another week and a half. We will have a big grand opening at some point when numbers are allowed, which by the looks of it won't be that far away. So yeah, it's very exciting, and we have got courses up and running and coming in already. But the point I was making about transplanting to a new area is that I sort of found myself prior to COVID having this time, knowing I wanted to do something, we wanted to do something, and not really knowing a lot of people in the area other than our family. So that is where meeting you was invaluable. Apart from everything else, going and to networking events, meeting other like-minded women that wanted to change their life story or build a business, and through that, and joining the Confident Collective with you, Nat, we sort of met a whole range of people in different ways. And what I love about working with women is that it's the support network.
Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously we go to you. I mean, you've been there every step of our journey. I mean, even when we come back from seeing properties, we would have to FaceTime you. Go, look at this one. Look at this one.
I love it.
But it's the other people in the group as well. It's the, you know, I mean, through that, the person that we used to do all our printing, we met through your group. You know, the person who helped us a little bit with some of our social media, the lovely Imogen, you know, is also a client. We met through the groups. So in so many ways, you support each other and everyone comes up together. And that is a really lovely feeling, because I love women. I love working with women. I love, you know, the job I do, the training I do. And quite often people talk about women backstabbing or bitching. You don't really get that. You know, if you're with like-minded people, everyone wants everyone to succeed. And when I know that someone is in the group doing really well, it's that you're supporting them, you're celebrating them, you're trying to use them. Oh, how can I use them in my business? Or what can I do there? That's the support that probably has been the biggest surprise with starting this business. And you know, even people that we've met through you that are therapists are still really supportive. And it's not like, oh, you may be competition. No, it's that we have our different areas and everyone supports each other. So that's the biggest thank you to, and the biggest shock for me is to have this wonderful network of amazing women and seeing how we can work together for each other's businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important. And that grow together thing, oh, I've got a visitor. That grow together thing is massive. And for me, it's like, yes, everyone wants growth, but isn't it better if when we grow, we can help others to grow too? And that's what you're doing in your business. That's what I do in my business. Oh, that's beautiful. You know, that's what we all do. And I think, you know, it's harder to have an experience growth on your own, which is why community and having other women around me is important too. Yes. 1 second. Oh dear. What did you do? Okay. I'll sort it out in a second, okay? Yes. Building Lego. So yeah, what I was going to ask you about that is, like, for a lot of people, it can be, like you said, like if you're in a new area or, you know, circumstances have brought you where you are, you could be a single parent, you might be starting something off. Like, was there any hesitance in you, like, starting up? Whitstable Beautiques came first, didn't it? So was there any hesitance or anything you was worried about? And how did you get over that? And what advice would you give to other people that might be thinking, oh, I'm unsure about doing this or getting out and meeting new people?
I think I didn't find any hesitance around the business because it's the passion I've always had. So it wasn't like I was starting to do something and thought, oh, you know, is this right for me? Because it's just who I am. It's in my blood. So I didn't have any hesitance about starting the business in that way. I think for me, it was not knowing people, knowing I needed to network, knowing I needed to get a feel for the people in the area, and some of the business stuff. I mean, although I've got management qualifications, business has changed since I got those. So I didn't understand. I mean, this is the first time I've used StreamYard. I mean, this was like oh my God, my Mac doesn't have Google Chrome. Quickly download. A year ago, I would have been texting you going, I can't do it now because I haven't got Google Chrome. Whereas now I'm like, okay, this is fixable. They're the things, and that's the confidence. It's not the confidence in the
ability
or the actual business. It was the confidence in all the other stuff that come together. You know, I mean, I still am hesitant around an Excel spreadsheet.
I know.
Other than that, I've and I have actually, you know, done profit and loss sheets now, which I never thought I'd say. But it's those kind of things that hit you in business. It's not necessarily the creative or the idea. You know, it's how do I make my social media posts pop? How do I attract people? How regularly should I do this? Is there a way without me sitting on my phone every morning trying to do another post? You know, all of that stuff is what was invaluable that you gave us. And not that we're great at it. All of that stuff is the learning journey we went on. It wasn't about the business we chose, it was about how the nuts and bolts of that business. And what aligned with me with you, Nat, is I don't believe in sales for sales sake. I mean, even in my industry, I've been before, and I've had a treatment, and the whole time the therapist is talking to me about what products I should be buying at the end. And it, in the end, it turns you off of the treatment or the salon, because you'll get this big hard sell. And I don't like that in any way. But there is another way of looking at it. It's like, if I don't tell people about how great our courses are, or how great our tutors are, then there could be people looking for a course out there that miss an opportunity of a wonderful funded, perhaps, training experience, and end up at a college where they may be in a group with people they don't really resonate with, different age group, and in an experience they're not enjoying. So for me, just looking at what someone needs and looking at how I can fulfill that, that is a synergistic sale to me. That makes sense. But just being pushy has never felt right for me. And I have gone and seen different things on sales before where it feels like that. It's like, well, you know, if you don't get them this way, then smash them over the head that way, and then come in round the back that way.
No, call all the family and friends.
Like, really? You know, so none of that appealed to me, and that is why, although you talk about sales, in my head I don't even hear sales. I hear it helping people.
Yeah.
You know,
yes, I believe, my firm belief is, not in a minute, baby, you have to give me 5 minutes, okay? I believe that sales is service. I really do. And good sales is customer service. And that's all it is, because you're solving an issue. That's it. Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, the last few weeks we've been obviously inundated with the need of having different tradespeople in. And so when I say, oh, I've got to get this done, and someone will say, oh, I know someone who does that. I don't go, oh, are you trying to sell me him? Are you trying to throw me him? It's like, someone knows I need someone. They know someone who does that job, and the two married together. That to me, it don't even feel like sales. In that dirty way of, like, you know, hard sell and got to do it. And that was my ethos. And I thought, actually, if I'm going to work with anyone, it's going to be someone who can understand that, because and that's what I got with you, and that's what I got with the Confidence Collective, and all the things we've learned through that, and in other ways. It's that you've got to know who you are, be confident in your self and your abilities, and as you can see, confidence isn't a problem with me. But it's about being able to look at that and build around that, but also being there and admitting and understanding your, I don't know the word weaknesses, the challenges that you face and overcome. And for us, that was things that was very technical with the business. And you helped us understand that. You helped us overcome that. And I know that we wouldn't have been as confident at taking on as big a property as we have. I mean, the property we're going into was really like something we needed in probably about 3 years' time. But it's a 5-year lease. So it's like everywhere was 5-year leases. So we either start small and stay small for 5 years, or we make a big leap and
go for it.
And that's my ethos.
Don't ask a person who takes risk for advice on what you invest in.
So you know, it felt, I mean, it is a bit of a risk, but it's a calculated one. And I think that's the difference, is that
it gives you that push, that right, okay, I've got this now, and your frame of reference, your mindset is different to what you need to do, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's that passion still, even for you know, long nights and rollering, you know, walls at my age, which I didn't think I'd be doing again, pulling 12 hours, rollering walls. But all of that is because of the passion that you know at the end of it. And when we look at it, I'm really honest now, we don't look at it. Me and Charlotte stand there, and I mean, Queen of the Lives, Charlotte, the person who never, ever have a video of herself. And
quite a bit, though, to be fair, didn't we, all of us?
Yeah, the biggest challenge that we faced with her is that she never wanted to be on any kind of live at all, or a video. I mean, live was out the question, and now she's pulling them every day.
Yeah.
But we never stand there at the door of like one of the salons and pat each other on the back and go, look what we've done. What we look at is we go, oh, look at what the students are going to get. Look at the experience. Look at the room they're going to have. Look at all the new furniture. Look at all the new equipment we're getting. Look at how we're going to make this the best. And it's that feeling of being in service. And that's what we do when we teach. That's what we do as therapists. And we learn that as women because we were in service to each other, you know, with our siblings, with our parents, with our children. And it's that you've always managed to carry on in the Confidence Collective or in any of your groups. It's that nurture. You nurture us, but not smother us. You nurture us and give us a good kick up the arse to go and do what we need to do. It's like you've got a nest, but you'll be willing to kick us out so we can fly.
Yeah, I'll be your biggest champion, but your worst nightmare if you don't do what you said you're going to do.
Yeah. And that's why we've always got on, because that's, you know, I just really get that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so we have been very, very lucky, fortunate, hardworking. But for me, it's the other stuff, and I don't want to get totes emosh. But it's the stuff, it's the support that's there when you're not expecting it. It's the support. Many people that know me on here know that a year ago yesterday, on Sunday, my mum died. And it was a big loss. My mum was a big, huge part of me and all my family's life. And the reason we're here in Whitstable. And it was at a time, she didn't die of COVID, she died of dementia. But it was the time of COVID. And so the funeral would be very, very small, and we were from a very large Irish family, so it would have been a very huge event. And on that day, when my mum's coffin come out, to know that the street around was covered and filled with the people that I met through you and the Confidence Collective, people that wanted to support me and to be there so that my mum didn't come out of a house like as though no one really cared. That's something you can't buy from a sales course. That's something. They're friendships that go deep, and that touched not just me, but my siblings that were like, oh, and this lovely, who are all these people? And I went, these are the women I've met down here. And they all wanted to come out and show their support and love for me and Charlotte. And that's the stuff you can't buy by doing a sales in 10 minutes 4 million course online through Facebook, because it's not real. What you give is real, and it's grounded, and it's nurturing, and you support each other. And I know there's other people gone through stuff within the group, and we've supported each other through it. And that's something that we know has helped us personally, and has helped us in our business. And for that, I wish this was something stronger, but for that, I salute you, Nat.
Thank you. Made me cry now.
Well, as I say, it's when you most need people, and people that you have perhaps only known for months or a year step up, you know they're important people in your life and in your journey. And as I say, that one act showed me more about the friendships and the networking and the people that are in my life now down here that I know I'll never be without. And that was at a time when I needed it and Charlotte needed it, and it was and that's what you don't get with other courses or working with other mentors. It's that, you know, that I know if I pick the phone up to you for any reason, you'll be there for me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So yeah, it goes beyond a mentorship.
I don't know what to say now. I'm not usually speechless, but congratulations.
But no, and that's what I really wanted to get on here for, is to celebrate. Yes, you're the queen of sales. Yes, you can show me how to do things on a computer that I can't do. But what no one else can do is what you've created, and that is to have a group of amazing women that have got your back. Always. Women. I mean, you've also helped Andy. I mean, you know, it's not just women. You do help other people.
Family affair. Yeah, I mean, it's so important, because I think for me, definitely when I was younger, I used to say, ironically, I'll never work with women. Never work with women because, you know, like I had a bad experience in my youth with girls in school. So when I was younger, that's why I started playing football and things like that, because my friends were boys. And so I was like, no, it's not going to happen. Not going to. And here I am. Oh, you know, like for 15 years, been working with women mainly. But it's like I think it's always when you see, like you said, with the beauty industry and having treatments where people just offer you incessantly products. It's the same with me with like businesses. I don't want any other woman to feel like that. I want to show as many women as possible. It's really important to have supportive women around you that care about you and have your back. And I think that's the ethos that runs through everything, because when you've got support, you've got that net, so that, you know, when you do fall, and you will, you know, that there's people there with the net.
Yeah, and that is a real. That's not that I, you know, we felt that support. We felt that hug at a time when we couldn't be hugged by people other than each other. We felt that care at a time when people were very isolated. And so perhaps it was even more striking because of that. At a time when people were hiding indoors, a lot of women came out and said, no, I'm going to stand here and support you. And, you know, safely at a distance and whatever. But that meant a lot. And it's one of the memories, one of the most beautiful memories of that day that I'll always keep with me. And, you know, but that's just an example of how it hit us. But I know there's everyone in the group has got their own story of how they've gone through something and someone has been there for them, or we've all been there for them. So that's what you get when you do business with you, that it's more than just business. You care for the person, not just for the company.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really important to have people's backs, and I've been told off many a time by many people for giving too much, but I can't help myself because I really do care about it. Like it's my business. Like no. Yeah. So thank you so much, Donna. And where can we find you if someone's watching this and goes, I'm interested in finding out about courses or even having a treatment? Where can we find you?
Well, we're on Facebook, and we've got a website. The salon website is www.whitstable.co.uk, and the school is Whitstable Beauty School. www.whitstablebeautyschool.co.uk. But the same names in Facebook, we could be found there. So yeah, and hopefully, you know, a few people will come to the salon or think about a change of career, come have a course. Or when we do have our courses running, we would also always need models. And so for anyone who may be watching this that perhaps hasn't got even the money for certain treatments regularly, you know, come and be a model, because obviously it'll either be free or a very, very reduced cost just to cover the products.
Yeah, I love that. You should go, honestly. It's the best decision I ever made. I need to look in, actually. I haven't been for ages because I fractured my wrist, didn't I? And it's sort of, I need to contact Charlotte. So aside from that, talking about me, Megan needed it. Is like, if you have loved Donna's story and you're thinking, well, I'm intrigued in that, I want to be part of that support network, I want to know how to do things, have a plan and strategy for how to build my business. The link is flashing below us right now. You can book a call to find out more and see if it's a fit for you to work with me. There's no pressure. Like Donna said, no sleazy behind your back. I'm just here to serve you. So if you want to get some free time with me, which is very rare, click that link below and I'll see you then. And thank you very much, Donna, for joining me this morning. It's been amazing.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and thank you for everything.
You're so welcome. Bye, everybody.